Excuse me, sir, what's your name? Were you on the winning team today? Yes. You were? Did you score any baskets? Yes. Very good. Okay.
All right, welcome to Athlete Alchemy, a community where we are exploring the stories of athletes and professionals in and around sports who are on the journey of transforming their athletic potential into lifelong excellence. I'm your host, Walt Pegues, and today is a special episode, one that we've been sitting on for about 6 years or so now, which is crazy to say. I got my brothers on the show with me today. To kick things off, it's going to be one of those ones that's probably going to be put in the BKR Hall of Fame. Hopefully the IUP Hall of Fame, the Philly Hall of Fame, or maybe even the Dayton Hall of Fame one day. But super excited to have my guys on the pod today. The three guys on today with me are my brothers, teammates, business partners, and everything you can think of. And three people who are a big part of who I am, and a big reason why I'm sitting in a seat today. So first things first, I'm gonna pass it over to my brother Ishaaq.
Hey, thank you for having us on. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for putting this thing in motion. Thank you for those kind words as well. My name is Diamond Jones L. I go by Shaba. A lot of people know me as Shaba. However, I'm in education. I love to learn. I love to be active, and I love to support my brothers, and that's what I'm here to do today.
All right, brother Ishaaq Muhammad.
Yeah, everybody called me Izzy, but I'm just tapping to say what's up from Philly. How y'all doing today?
Justin Weldon.
Justin, Jersey native, but Philly living. Thank you for having me on. I definitely appreciate it. We got the whole BKR crew.
For sure, man. So yeah, this is the BKR episode. For those of y'all who don't know, Belief Knowledge Reward is our nonprofit organization, community organization. Based out of Philly, as far as boots on the ground, South Jersey, where we originally were incorporated. But we're hoping to be global. We're national wherever we're at. We are BKR. So this podcast, this episode, the show, this platform, this project is a big part of BKR. It's for us to all collectively, for the first time on a record, I will say, we've been putting a lot of things in motion. We've had these conversations since we were in college, but for the first time, sharing kind of our story, our journey with our community, y'all out there listening to us. So this one is special, long overdue, like we said. We've probably talked for hours and hours, and probably could have already had a few audiobooks or a few podcasts or whatnot. But on the record, this is Athlete Alchemy, the BKR way. So first things first, man. We're gonna tell our story about how we became athletes. The journeys of when we all started out, whether it was football, whether it was basketball, whatever that sport was out there. And Hawk, I'm gonna start with you, man. Eagles coming off a Super Bowl win, so you probably riding as high as they go. But tell me about your first sports memory, man. Whether it was playing sports, whether it was watching sports. What was that first memory for you?
Let me preface this by saying that y'all are my more athletic friends. Um, I'm just a part-time athlete, you feel me? But as far as like sports memory, it probably had to be like basketball in middle school. That was like the first time I was on the team. I didn't want to take my shirt off. It was like they had to play a shirts versus skins. I don't know if you ever had to do that. I was on skins, of course, for whatever reason. The big fellow on skins, so that was memorable. So yeah, that was probably my first memory. Played at the Sixer Stadium that year. That was my first organized sport for real. And then I did a little lacrosse too later that year, so that was cool. Yeah.
A real athlete right there. And lacrosse, man. I ain't never see Izzy with no lacrosse stick.
Listen, man, I know how to cradle a little bit. You feel me?
All right, Shab, how about you, bro?
My first sport memory. All right, I got a couple of them. So we go unorganized. I think my first sport memory is I was at a family reunion and I was playing football. And the reason why that memory is so notable, because I was like 6 years old. And it was the first time I ever met my cousin, Keela. And yeah, we got into a fight. And it was a girl. I ain't gonna hold you. She low-key beat me. Only because she was like scratching and stuff, you feel me? And I wasn't really trying to like piece her up, but like she got the best of me. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, so playing football when I was like 6 years old, and then organized sport. The first time I ever played organized was AAU basketball in sixth grade. And that's when I first had hoop dreams. And yeah, played for the Gym Rats, Dayton Gym Rats. Shout out to the Gym Rats, man.
Okay. Big Well, how about you, bro?
I would say like my first encounter with sports had to be from my block, man. Like living in Jersey, like we were outside kids and we was playing teddy bear football. We was putting crates up, playing basketball, all the above. So like sports wasn't no choice being, and I was always the big dude. So I always had to show out a little bit more. Had to get my juke moves right. But I would say the first sports memory had to be from my block, playing teddy bear tackle football on concrete, and I was out there cleaning people. They called me Scrappy Doo. I was a youngin', but but I was feisty and I was getting after it. So yeah, that was the I could move, big boy that could move and could hit.
Man, I didn't know Well. I didn't know Well for 11 years. I ain't never heard him say his nickname was Scrappy Doo,
Yeah,
bro.
my brother friends, see y'all know me
Scrappy Doo is crazy.
with y'all. I'm the big guy. You feel me? But with my brother friends, they see me as the little dude that used to always be around and would just do dumb stuff like and always wanna fight older people. But
I got
yeah,
you.
I was I was the little guy to them. To my peers, I'm always the big guy.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, man. For me, I would say track was probably the first sport memory. I remember they used to have this like little obstacle course, 40-yard dash, broad jump on the track back in Philly at Gratz. So I remember my pop was a track coach, AAU track coach. So like I was like indoctrinated in sports and AAU track. But they used to have this little jump before I was old enough to run AAU. It was probably like 3 or 4 years old. They would have like this little competition. I remember just winning a trophy for that. It was like the fastest could jump the furthest. So that was probably my first like sport memory. And then since then, just track. Like I was for real, for real. I went to AAU Junior Olympics when I was 3 months. I don't remember, but like as soon as I was born, like I was on a plane headed to New Orleans for the Junior Olympics because my pop was coaching in it. So track was like that first sport, and I always kind of was running away from it because I had to do it at a young age, but it was definitely like my foundation, and everything I did I was one of the fastest. So I guess it meant something to me. So that kind of leads me to my next question. As far as like sport, like we, three of us on here played college sports. Izzy played, high school sports. But for a lot of us, sport allowed us to get to kind of our next step in life and some aspects. So I'll start with Shab on this one. When did you see sports, if you ever have used or seen sports as a vehicle for your future, or when was that first moment, maybe?
For whatever reason, my brain wants to say basketball, but no, it wasn't because I was really just having fun and it didn't really hit me until my sophomore year. Boom. Sophomore year in high school, basketball team, tried out, did not make the team. When I did not make the team, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the only organized sport I've ever played. What am I going to do? My friends have always been trying to tell me to play football, play football, play football. So I'm like, okay, I might actually try this football thing out. And at first, it was just for fun, and it was just more so like low key to find my identity again at that young age. Because I'm like, basketball is my identity. So once I didn't have basketball, I'm like, I need a new identity. So I use football as that and as such. But I ain't gonna hold you. Going to Wayne and seeing people actually go to college and people getting scholarships and stuff like that. I'm like, hold on, hold on. All right, all right. So I know my situation. My mama should have told me either get a scholarship or I suggest you go to, you feel me, one of the armed services. You feel me? So I'm like, I know the Air Force is gonna be a good job. So when I started thinking about my future life after high school, this was about junior year, and at this point, I didn't had I didn't had a sturdy season, my sophomore season on JV, and then going into my junior season, that's when I'm like, okay, I got to actually put in that work. And so as I start to put in that work and start to see results, I'm like, oh my God, like I might actually, I might actually be one of the ones, God. Like, hold on. So I would say to answer the question in short, through that long journey and process, it started from not making the basketball team my sophomore year, going into my first time playing football. And then once I started playing football, I would say at the end of my first season, going into my second season, I started to consider it. But going into my senior year, oh my God, that's when I knew. That's when I knew. I'm like, this is the only way I'm going to get through college. I'm like, it's either this or the Air Force. And I would much rather do this and go to the Air Force. And put in that work, made it happen.
Nah, that's real, bro. I think the identity piece you mentioned is something that I feel like I resonate with a lot. Of like, sheesh, like I'm all my boys playing sports or like everything around me, like everybody, whether it's people trying to convince you, and I think Wells talked about it too, like being in the neighborhood or like just seeing everybody around me. So that's kind of how I feel like at a young age, like again, my parents like both graduated from college. Like my dad, yeah, he played college football. But at the same time, like my parents, they always push academics first. But at the same time, I knew I was gonna have to get a scholarship. Like that's just how it was. Like it wasn't like a like you better do this, but it was just like, in my opinion, like just expect it. And growing up in Philly, growing up in the inner city too, you see a lot of the old heads that was tough in sports. Like they get a college scholarship. So for me, like it was almost immediately as soon as I started playing like organized sports. I used to have a coach. He would go take us to watch high school games, and the dudes from the high schools, right? They would be going getting college scholarships. Little league football, playing on the team as the guys on the older pounds would get to high school, they will all go to private school or they'll go to a Catholic school, and then from there they'll get their scholarship and go wherever. A lot of times, most times, 99% of the time, none of them make the league, but like they got out the neighborhood. You know what I mean? They was revered by the young bulls. So for me, like as soon as I played sports, bro, like I always looked at it, and until like now, and we'll talk about this through the conversation. Like even through college, right? Like I was like my identity was so being an athlete, but I was also very well rounded, right? I went to magnet schools my whole life, but still, even with that, and having parents that worked in education, my pop was a teacher. I still always looked at sport as a vehicle, for my future. For me, it was everything. All my friends was through sports, right? Like I was obsessed with the game, and it wasn't also by like design by my parents or anything like that, but it was just what I was. I feel like I was just indoctrinated in that realm for real, for real.
So my question is, hey y'all brothers, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he say he was in the Junior Olympics at 3?
He had no choice.
No, no, no. So yeah. I was
Like so,
actually.
so you got you've been
Yeah, yeah, no.
you've been like this since
Yeah,
3
yeah.
years
So like,
old.
no, no, no. So yeah. I was actually gonna talk about that. So like, that's what. So track was the sport for me. Where like I was gonna like ask y'all this question. Like, when did you know that like you was actually good enough to actually like play at like the next level, right? For me, like I was getting junior Olympic medals, bro, when I was 10 years old, right? Like I was top three in the whole country, top two in the whole country at 10 years old, right? I won national championships at 9 and 10 and 11 years old. Like I was so like
Different type of
track.
paradigm. Different
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of
So like
paradigm.
track,
He's like,
and the
Right.
thing
he's
is,
like,
yeah,
okay,
the thing about
okay.
yeah, the thing is with like track though too is like I was competing on a national scale for track. Like for football, for me, like I was always more naturally like quote unquote naturally gifted in like basketball and football. Football for sure. Football for me, and we'll talk about this. It just came easiest to me. Like it was the easiest sport for me. So that's that's why I played football in college. But for track, I know like I'm competing literally against the best runners in the country that are my age. And me and my boys is like going up, like we practicing in Philly, practicing at Temple. We beating dudes in Texas and Florida, right? Like that was just normal for us, right? We go to nationals and we were winning. So like I knew that I could compete with dudes across the country. So like when I'm playing in my local rec league basketball game or playing, regular little league football, it's like yeah, it's a challenge. Like you still got work, but like it's what I mean. I've been there, done that. So like that was my approach. But like seeing it on a national scale, that's a good point out, Shaw. Like I didn't really think about it all the way through, but like I knew that I could get somewhere with it because of that. And again, like that's not to diminish like the work. The work had to be done. But
Right.
yeah, also just like naturally gifted and some genetics and stuff like that as well. But yeah, so I think at an early age, like competing on that scale, like I was like, all right, I knew that this is a path for me for real, for real.
Yeah,
How about you though? Well,
man. I feel like my when I realized sports was the vehicle to my future, I feel like I had a whole different outlook. Like sports didn't feel like it can be my future until late high school. I would say mainly because growing up, I never felt like I was good at sports. You know what I mean? And I was good at sports. I just never felt like I was good at sports. Mainly because I was a little fat kid. And I had to play up 4 age levels. So when I was 10, I was playing with the 14 to 16-year olds. I was playing against kids that were developmentally a lot further than I was at an early age. So I never played with students or players the same age as me until 8th grade. And by the time I was in 8th grade, I was already passionate about something else. I wanted to quit football. Like 8th grade year, I wanted to quit mainly because I found passion in poetry, rapping, and I just took to that a lot more than sports. Um, but I ended up moving to Easton, and Easton sports was a lot different than sports in Jersey, whereas culture, there was uh, there was ingrained history within sports in Easton. Where in Jersey, if you're an athlete, you're an athlete, but most of the athletes weren't even known for being an athlete. Um, so I would say like playing in Easton, actually playing with people my own age. Um, and honestly, when I got my first talk to from a college coach was where I was like, oh, I can really go to college playing football, and that was Monmouth my junior year. So I'm a little late when it came to like seeing sports as my future, but like I was always playing sports, but I was playing against some South Jersey goats, man, back in middle school. Some real deal goats. Some people that should have made it to the league, but um I wasn't. I was too young to be playing against certain people. There was some true hitters. Like one of our teammates, Karan. If you talk about a South Jersey goat, this boy was like the same height he was in college, back in middle school,
A
250
man, a man
pounds,
child,
playing
a
running
man
back,
child.
and he was 2 years older than me. I'm like, I was playing out there, but I wasn't that guy. I wasn't that guy until high
Yeah.
school.
Nah, that's real.
So there's a couple things, couple nuggets there. One is beautiful that you've been able to reflect and realize how, that was a blessing for you to be playing up, you
Oh
know?
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I
I
thought,
would have
and
changed
I
it for
thought,
nothing.
I thought you was about to, I thought you was about to go another route when you said by 8th grade you said Ashton. I thought you about to say you was polished. I thought you about to say yeah, you was polished by then because you didn't already been playing up with everybody. You feel me? You think you was
Yeah.
Gucci? You feel me?
I,
But
I was definitely polished. Like I was getting recruited from like
obviously,
from Camden
obviously,
from
you
Camden
feel me?
Catholic, from like some of the South Jersey like big time schools, but like my mind and like my attitude and everything about me wasn't really focused on football. It was
Yeah.
I wasn't mature enough to really even think football can be a vehicle for the future. Mainly because the environment I was in, the people that were playing football were into other things too, and I was more impressionable. I can admit that I was impressionable by a lot of the things that was going on in my neighborhood.
And then I wanted to I feel
What
like that
else?
was
I
like
just
a
heard you trying to be a YN. That's what I heard.
Oh, it was an in between, man. Yeah, I wasn't just playing football. I was boxing into, so that was I like boxing more than I like football. So
However, I think it's a perfect segue into, Izzy answering the question because at that point, when you literally have passions for other things, but it's like, I want to do this thing, but it's like maybe that's not the route for you. You feel me? So, like, I think it's beautiful that we have Izzy on here because at the end of the day, like, he's still an athlete. However, he didn't use sports, to get him through college, but he still went through college. And I feel as though sports still had a major impact on him. So, Izzy, I feel like you can answer the question too, King. Like, how did sports have an impact on you? Feel me? Your direction with your future.
always just admired the sport for real. You know, I didn't take it as serious as I could have in college. I also wasn't allowed to play no contact sport until I got to high school. Like I tried to play football for literally years, and every time I got a no. And I think that messed me up. If I would have gotten a little bit earlier, you know, really, because I'm like a person who need a lot of reps. I just didn't have enough reps that really. I tried to fight it, but you know, parents sometimes they stop it. So, um, getting into that though, you know, I still tried it when I first got into high school. I went to all the mandatory training, so I was doing what I could. You feel me? Couldn't do a push up ninth grade. Then by the time I, you know, got out to get into college, I could bench over 300. You feel me? So it was in motion. I was still getting looks. Like I could have played football. It's just, you know, things. You know, you make decisions, things happen. So it's just, you know, it's very interesting when you think about it.
Nah, not that's real. I remember Hawk, bro. I transferred to Central my sophomore year. I think y'all know. I don't know if everybody know, but
I know that. I thought you was. I
yeah,
thought you was
yeah, yeah.
born and
Nah,
raised.
nah.
You got it
So
No,
wrong.
nah. So I went to a Catholic school my freshman year. That's part of it too. Like I said, like all of the old heads are from around the way that was playing in college. Like the route was like public school. Like if you was playing in public school, you play AU or whatever, it was to go to a Catholic school or go to a private school, then to get to college, right? So like I thought that was a route. Like I took mad high school visits. I applied to Central. I got into Central too. So some Central people out there, like, nah, I've been smart too, but I applied to like Catholic schools and private schools, and got like academic scholarships, athletic money, and all that stuff. Roman is where I went my freshman year. It just made the most sense financially. It was the most affordable. Was cool with the basketball coaches going to the camp there, football and stuff like that. So played. But I say all that to say, when I transferred from Roman and I went to Central practices, bro, and I do not want to, to put any bad light on Central football program. But we can talk about this, shot. Weldon, we've had this conversation. Y'all came from a football program. We came from a football high school team. It's a lot different. And it's just the structure of the organization and like the structure of the high school and stuff like that. Football, and as far as like on the totem pole, as far as where it sits in Central, it's just not the Philadelphia Public League. Football is just not
robotics is above football. You
exactly.
know,
It's just not the same level of intensity. It's not the same level of focus. So I do remember though, as a transferring in, it was John Henderson who was our quarterback. It was Mike Devlin who was another quarterback, and there was
like
Ishaaq Muhammad, a lineman, right? And then my boy Sal used to be there pretty often as well. But like those four guys, when I showed up, they were like the only people that were my class in any workout. And I'm talking about off season workouts. My boy Izzy getting his reps in with the quarterback,
That's
right?
nasty work.
Like for real. Look, I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like we had a few upperclassmen here and there, but like by the time his seniors, it was consistent. Like my man Izzy was there, he was consistent, with it. He was consistent with the grind. So right, like when he got into college, he got the IUP, whether it was the camera, whether it was,
Exactly.
the sport communications, right? Like the
Exactly.
grind, the work was he put in the work, he put in the reps, bro. So like that's a shy point, bro. Like it I think, the sport mindset of like, all right, I'm gonna keep coming back each day. I'm gonna keep getting better. Right. So like again, Hawk started late. Started football in high school, right? Still was a starter by the time he was a junior, maybe even sophomore year. You probably started some games, but junior, senior year, it's just about like putting in the work. And I think as athletes, no matter when you start or how long you play, I definitely think it builds a foundation and builds some good different techniques and things like that can help you in the long run.
However, you did make a great point, bro, when you said and you pointed out the different and that me and Weldon came from programs, right? And Weldon will even actually hold on, let me be sure. Let me ask my brother. I got him right here. Weldon, how would you rank, just like the general like program when it came to Wayne and Easton?
I'll put Easton over Wayne. That's just my
Okay,
opinion.
thank you. All right, thank you.
So,
So for the record, for the people,
but what I'm trying to say, we talk about when I moved to Easton, I had to learn quick, man. Like Easton tradition is one of the longest lasting football traditions in the United States. We have us in Central have one of the
Hmm.
longest lasting football rivalries where my coach he was a little bit older. He would talk to me about the 1930s and how they was doing it. Like he was telling me that he would be like John Smith from 1932 tore both his ACLs, and he called it trick knee, and he kept on playing. You got to be a dog if you play for Easton. It was simple. It was plain, like plain
So
Jane. So
thank you.
that
I appreciate you for qualifying that. Thank you for qualifying that. So boom. It's
plain Jane. We came
All
from.
right. So, anyways, okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with Easton being a better program than Wayne. Long story short, I was thinking like you fed me, like I could tell from like highlight tapes from jerseys and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, Walt is different. And for the record, I went to Wayne High School. Justin went to Easton High School, PA, Wayne High
Mhm.
School, Ohio. You feel me? So I went on the same visit to IUP. I'm kind of jumping ahead. We're gonna talk about college, but
Yeah.
um, we all went on the same visit, which is crazy. And when I seen your highlight tape, I'm like, he's nice. But I'm like, yo, I don't know. I feel like they ain't playing against nobody. These jerseys, they look small.
Yeah,
But I'm
but
just saying,
can I say? Let me jump in. You know, one thing about Philly, and I realized this being like a teacher slash educator in Philly, like skill positions in Philly really mean something. Like I think I went to MOTEP game with one of our other friends, Mo. Was you there, Shaba? Yeah. But we went to the MOTEP game and they was playing against some Maryland school. And this Maryland school looked like they had behemoths on the O line and D line. MOTEP had some dogs on D line, O line, but you could tell like they was a little bit smaller. But those D backs, receivers, running backs, those skill positions in Philly were literally dogs. So like, yeah, when I looked at Walt highlight tape, I'm like, yeah, I would have. They don't got enough. They don't got enough beef on the O line, but them skill positions, I don't know. He had it. They had some work with him.
but the overall point I was trying to make from bringing up the high schools and all that was just simply to point out the fact that Izzy, for the record, brother, is beautiful that Allah laid out your path how He laid it out. You feel me? Allah did no wrong. Period. Point blank. However, you feel me? You just for some people that may struggle with, you know what I'm saying, the same plight that me and you both had, bro. Both starting late. I never played high school football, bro, until my sophomore year. No, yeah, my sophomore year in high school. And what I'm saying is, bro, for people like me and you, bro, a lot of the time the difference between us going to the next level is literally the program that we come from. That's my whole bottom line point. You feel me? There's a lot of people, if they would have better coaches or just better trainers or just, you feel me, somebody to tell them what to do, da da da, so forth, so forth. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people would have a legitimate chance to make it to the next level for sure.
Yeah, I kind of got finessed by Walt. He one summer I found out that him and Sam had trainers. I'm like, wait, you can get a trainer? I'm like, you've been getting trained this whole time? And I'm just like, oh, the more you know, the more you
Hey
know.
man, you heard it.
No,
He's
that's a
been
great
getting trained
point.
since 3 years old.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, dog. I was at the coaching clinic earlier today. Our strength and conditioning coach at the high school I'm coaching at. He was we were presenting to like little league coaches, and he was like, for real, training and having a trainer can start at like he would say like as the age of 8, right? From age of 8 to 12, he could start working with them. So yeah, I mean, I probably had a trainer probably since I was like 7, 8 years old for real, and having even when I was in high school, right? Like I was still practicing on weekends, right? After for like track. Like I had a jump coach. I was practicing on weekends, right? Like so it's just like that's a lot of like the stuff that people don't know, kind of about sports and stuff like that. I do say a lot of my talent is was like naturally gifted as well, but definitely having parents or having people that knew the game as well, I think definitely helps. And then that kind of brings me to my next question. Is just about like when you think back to like you in high school, and kind of about to go to college or just like looking at colleges, like where would you say like your identity was at during that time, right? Like, of course, we're athletes, we're all high school athletes, but also like coming to terms with who we are as people, whether it was the school we were at. I know we all went to different schools, different types of schools, different neighborhoods, different environments. But like when you think about yourself as a person, when you think about like where your identity laid, what would you say? Could be a loaded question. I'm sure it is a loaded question, a lot to unpack there. But it looked like Shab might be the most person the most ready person to answer this question right now by the looks on your face.
Okay, so this question for me is actually a question that I ponder upon a lot because I know when, quote unquote, I say my third eye awaken, or you feel me, I like started to become aware of like more than just worried about what I'm going to eat for breakfast or lunch. I'm actually care about the world and different things of that nature. I know when that happened, but I always considered, what was I thinking? Like, what did I have any like good deep thoughts? Like, was I like I was, I'm like was I, and I questioned myself, but then I correct myself and realize that I've always been how I've been. For me, I feel as though my identity has started to really shift and really unlock for real, from just simply growing up. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's the most simple answer I can give you. Like, my identity comes around just simply growing up, bro. So, like, when you consider being, what, 17, playing football, having a job, and having a girlfriend. Because, like, let's not get it twisted. Having a girlfriend has always been a job. You feel me? No matter what age. You feel me? Especially if you're taking things kind of seriously, if you think you are. So, I say all that to say, I realized, you feel me, at a young age, like, whoa, like, life is serious. And the reason why I started off by saying I question, I will always ponder, like, when did I start having, like, more, like, deeper thoughts and whatnot, more provoking thoughts. I say that to say, I realized that a lot of my identity literally is around just simply growing up. Just simply growing up. That's the most simple I can get it without being too much more long winded.
Got you. Izzy, how about you, bro?
Uh, Identity of who I wanted to be growing up. I guess. Well, I used to watch draft to draft and watch Ray Lewis and how he used to flip the cars and all that and do the little cars. I used to be doing push-ups around the combine. I used to be real locked into that. And then on my like communication side, so eventually, that's what I kind of leaned towards. Um, I was watching High School Musical, and it was behind the scenes. I'm like, I like this. This director thing kind of looks cool, and I was like, I think I want to do that. So that's my two instances: Ray Lewis and High School Musical.
Well, though.
Yeah, I think that's a very loaded question. I was going through a little identity crisis in high school, bro. Um, just me being transparent. Um, I went from a school with only two white people to a school with majority white people. Then when I got to the school, me being myself wasn't really accepted. So I knew that I wasn't going to play football if I didn't if I didn't accommodate to what they felt like a Eastern guy was. So there was a point where I was playing JV and varsity, starting on both, getting 7 tackles in JV and playing varsity because they were trying to get something out of me. So like even throughout my senior year, like I felt like in order for me to get support, I had to become something I wasn't, which was like being a black man in America, being a black boy in America, that can be really confusing. So like I was definitely going through a big identity crisis. Like if I wanted the things that I wanted, did I have to code switch? Did I have to walk and talk a certain way? Something that I wasn't used to. And it kind of like I felt like it messed with my confidence a little bit, but I was trying to what quote unquote use the system so I can get to the place that I wanted it to be, which was gain a scholarship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I seen a lot of people that didn't conform to what the coaches wanted, and when college coaches came by, it was like, no, that's not what you want. That's
Yeah.
not where you want to be. So, and there's a lot of people that's still at Eastern today that never got those scholarships, and these are all state guys. that never got a college scholarship because who knows what. So yeah, it was definitely a tricky situation.
Yeah.
I
Go
ain't
ahead,
gonna
Shop.
hold you. Appreciate you, bro. Um, Middle school and high school. So, well, I definitely can share those sentiments. Some of your sentiments. I definitely empathize and sympathize with you. I feel like I experienced some of the same things. Not wholeheartedly with feelings though I had identity crisis per se. However, I ain't gonna hold you. I was conscious of when I was code switching, bro. I'm not about to fake the funk, bro. I've always been
Had
conscious,
to, had to.
bro. What, bro? And it's like for me, like I think because I've always kind of like, okay, I'm gonna say it to you like this. So I'm gonna try to answer, make sure I stay on point with answering the question. How did, um, with considering how did my identity evolve in middle and high school? So for me, I kind of have to start in elementary school. Why? Because that's when, like Weldon has said, you feel me? I started off by going to a mixed school. I went to a private Catholic school, and that joint was mixed. And so that was a blessing for me. So I got to see all flavors, having a European teacher, having an Asiatic teacher. You feel me? I had them both from first to second grade. And then that's when I had the complete 180 going to Cornell Heights in second grade. And that's when it was all Asiatics, no Europeans in that joint, all Asiatics. And this is when I actually met three other male diamonds, and we all spelled our name differently. You feel me?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And that's
That's
also
crazy.
and that's also one of my other earlier sports memories is racing on the playground because like we really didn't have a playground. You feel me? That joint was just a concrete parking lot. You know what I'm saying? They just said run around, and so yeah, all those diamonds we used to always race who the fastest diamond. I was like second. I was never. It was this one bro. He was dark olive, had braids. He was the fastest one on it. But yeah, bro. I my identity has literally always, I feel as though, for me, well, I feel as though I could literally feel the people around me wanting me to be more like them. However, at the same time, bro, I can't make this up, bro. This is for my first time ever even expressing this. I appreciate this conversation. At the same time, bro, I peeped how I was different. And I peeped how they messed with how I was different. You feel me? How my hair, how I would talk sometimes, you feel me? Whether stuff I was wearing, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? They wearing Skechers and I'm wearing, you feel me, Nikes, you feel me? Da, da, da. So like, so I was able to be myself, bro. But at the same time, I'm not gonna hold you. I did code switch. So I just want to interject and just simply say, bro, I feel you, bro, and like my
Nah.
identity. But I literally appreciate it though, bro, because it literally is why I'm so well rounded today, bro. I can talk to anybody on the planet. I'm confident with anybody, old European, young European, bro, because I've been around them all my life. So that's another thing. Well, and for real, bro, if you just simply alchemize your brain and looking at it a different way, it's actually crazy, bro, because you're exactly the same way. Exactly the same way, bro. You can talk to anybody. You
Yeah,
don't have
for
no
sure.
type of, and a lot of that is from your childhood, bro.
Yeah, but
From your
I would say,
upbringing.
I would say it's a process too. I know we can. It's a process. Like it came to a point when when I was first faced with it, I felt like I had to appease to other people, and then it got to a point where it's like I'm not appeasing to nobody. It's either you accept me or you don't. But that came like later on, and when I look back at it, it was like I would say closer to the end of my senior year, just like I don't really have to appease to nobody. Like, but I had to go through that trial and error. Like I remember I have an interview that's probably still online now. My brother got on me so bad. He was like, "Why are you talking like that?" I was like, "I'm trying to do my 111th, do the things for the team." He was like, "You know, you don't talk like that. Like, why are you trying to appease to other people? That's not you." And that kind of put me back in check. It's like it
But
doesn't
you,
matter.
but you notice how it's a balance though, and it's the last thing we can move on. But it's a balance though, bro, because you also said earlier how you peep game. A wise person learns from his own mistakes. A wiser person learns from other people's mistakes. You peep. Hold on, they moving like that. they being themselves and it's getting them that. You feel me? So it's just like that balance. Like, you feel me? I don't have to appease them in this manner. However, I better make sure I follow the rules, you feel me, and demonstrate what I need to demonstrate in
Yeah.
these other matters, you know? Like, I think it's a balance.
No, that's real, dog. Definitely real. I mean, I definitely resonate with the multiple spots, multiple identities as people that we definitely had to balance. I would say elementary school. When I first started school, for real, I went to a private school, African private school. So, not not a single white teacher in that building. And then I went to public school once I hit second grade. So I went to like a neighborhood public school. So that was like the first moment where it was like, I won't even say culture shock, but more like, oh, this is how regular school operates. Because at the private school we were super sheltered. It was very very like um showing homage to your roots and everything, like these African assemblies, like African dance class, like everything was very very cultured, I would say. And then once you go to a public school, yeah, everybody else is there is black at the public school I went to, but it was just different. Like it was just different. And that was the first time for me like that I was like in classroom like bored. I would get in trouble for like some nerd stuff, right? I would throw a fit because the teacher said I couldn't write in cursive, right? Like I would be like that type of stuff, right? If we read in books, like the teacher like you gotta read slower because like you just speeding through stuff, right? So that's the first time my parents got me tested. So I was like labeled MG, mentally gifted or whatever like that. But from there like the MG classes was great for me, right? Like having something else to do. But also like there is when I really like got to see like sports again came into the picture because I was in second grade, but we was playing football similar to y'all shop. We ain't had no field or nothing. It was just a blacktop. We was playing tackle football on a blacktop, bro. And I was in elementary school, but my school was K-8, so I was playing like they used to call. They used to call me Walter Payton, bro, because I was fast as hell. They couldn't tackle me or nothing. So that was the first time, bro. And I was like, all right, yeah, like they accept me. I'm a boy coming from a private school. I didn't live in a neighborhood that I was going to this school, and my pop just, he knew the system, so he got me and my brother in a little better school than our regular neighborhood school. But it was a public school, and that's how like I got a lot of respect was from people like that. But also I always like pride myself on this to this day, bro, of being a person of like I got along with everybody, like no matter what, right? I got along with like the super athletic kids that was quote unquote the cool kids. I got it along with like the nerds. I got along with the kids that had learning disabilities. Like I always like pride myself on being like just a genuine person and being like all right, I don't care who you are. Like I'm gonna still treat you with the same respect. And I think that has carried me even to the next school once I went to a magnet school. And I wasn't as aware as you shop when I would say like the code switching. I just was like, all right, I was just more like choosy and like picking and choosing when I would do stuff or like when I would say certain things or like what conversations I would interrupt in. Like the dudes that I always hang out with every day, like they was always cool with me too. Every time, like again, sports again, we would go to the blacktop play of basketball. I was probably like the one or two best kids in there. I'll always pick the dudes that nobody wanted, right? Like I just always, just felt like that to bring people together. Like I always felt like I was never in that situation where I was never going to get picked last. Like I just never have been in that situation. But like for me, I'm like, yo, like let me empower these people. To like, so I always like naturally like gravitated towards that. The only time that I've ever like started to like experience any type of things is like sometimes looking back on it, I'll get like some teachers like I had a white teacher that would say something like kind of weird or treat like the black kids weird and stuff like that. So that's when like consciously I started to look at. But I went to like mixed school since fifth grade. One of my first coaches was a white man. I used to go over his sons, his crib every week to hang out with his sons and stuff like that. So like as far as my identity as like being like a black kid like in that space, I ain't really like experienced like stuff until like I used to see some microaggressions from like teachers and stuff treating kids differently. But as far as like my peers, like I never really like saw it or like witnessed it or felt it for real, for real. Until I went to high school though, I went to Roman Catholic again my freshman year, and I was one of three black kids in an honor school, right? So like that's the first time I'm like, yo, this is a little weird. So like I only will see my teammates on the field or at practice, but all my classes and stuff with the honors kids, and like it was just like some weird energy. So that's a big reason why I transferred to Central too. Is just like I needed to get back around more people that also was smart, that also played sports, that was just like more natural to me. Of course, I feel like if I stayed at Roman, I could have survived. But like that's the first time like the wheels started turning of like, yeah, man, you gotta find like your spot. You gotta find what makes you able to kind of show up as yourself best. So that's kind of what it was for me, but wasn't as conscious. And we'll talk about this as we get into like the IUP days, but definitely wasn't like super conscious of my surroundings and of like how I show up in the world. I was just like, all right, I'm just show up. I'm gonna be me. I know like what I'm good at. I know how I want to make people feel. I know how I want people to make me feel. And just like keep moving it like that. I did have some cousins kind of say the thing that you said, well, or like you don't sound black, or like you don't sound like us. But for me, like consciously, I'm like what does that mean? Right? Like, and people still tell me that to this day, like, yo, you don't sound like you from Philly. I'm like I don't know everybody from Philly that don't sound like they from Philly, right? Like, so it's just
I
like,
don't know what they be expecting. Like, I don't even get it. Like,
yeah,
everybody be expecting all this cool stuff. You want me to sound like I'm still in the trenches? Like, no, bro. Like, it's okay to be educated too. You feel me? Like, I don't know.
yeah, that's real. So like it's just never I wasn't as conscious in like who I am or was. Like again, it was just like, oh, I like to play sports. I'm smart, and I'm a nice guy. I'm a cool guy. That's what people say. And that's what it was. Like your identity was what people told you, or like what people said it was. That's how I felt, especially when I was in high school. All right, man. We gonna set the setting in 2013, 2014. So we looking back like 11, 12 years for real, for real. IUP is where we all went to school. But let's kind of backtrack a little bit to when we started to think about where we was going to college. Izzy, I'm gonna start with you. I don't even remember, bro, when you decided to go to IUP. I just remember signing day. I was going to IUP. People was looking at me why are you going to IUP? Or like I didn't know you was going to IUP. And then a few months later, everybody all of a sudden was going to IUP. So Izzy, tell me what happened. When did you decide you was going to IUP? How did that story happen? Nell will have a conversation with him offline about his IUP story because that
And
joint
that was
was funny
crazy.
too.
That was crazy. I don't know if he want me to tell her, if he want to tell her, but he's crazy. He's a
Well,
wild bull.
tell us your story, Izzy, about IUP. IUP Izzy.
I was in Central. I had like a couple ideas of where I wanted to go. Um, I didn't apply to Penn State for some reason. I think that whole Joe Pa stuff was going on, and that was like my school. I wanted to go to Penn State badly. Even if I didn't even play football, I just wanted to go. You feel me? I just love Penn State. And then that whole scandal came out. I'm like, all right, let me chill a little bit. Let me refocus. So I was looking at what was going on, and I heard that you was going to IUP, and I was like, let me see what's up with IUP. And I already wanted to do like the communications thing because that was like a good thing, and they kind of sold me on like them having their own studio, and they had like a really good program there. So that was like the first thing. I'm like, a good studio would be crazy. And then it was like between that and Howard. In hindsight, Howard would have been crazy, but IUP was a good choice too. So I would say it was really between like them two. I had Penn State eliminated themselves, so it was really just it was either going to be IUP or probably Howard, and I picked IUP. But
I mean, I think it was a good decision. I had a good time, being your roommate for 3 years and
yeah, I didn't
building
see it.
building our
IUP
brotherhood.
IUP was fun. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Good time.
Hey. And I'm gonna toss it over to Weldon. He was one of three people on this call that was a part of probably the greatest recruiting class of IUP history. And
Uh,
also was probably on one of the greatest visits in IUP history. Whoever the coaches is that set up that recruiting visit, shout out to them. They got some they got some
Man,
legendary dudes.
Well, before you go real quick, I just want to I wanted to get a little bit more out of Izzy. So Izzy, bro, what was give me like five things, a list. What made you decide on IUP?
Oh, God. That was a straight vibe. What are you talking
it's
about? You
all
talking about high
vibes.
school, high school Izzy. I was on vibes. I was like the gang going. Yeah, a good communication program. I'm in there. Why not?
Oh, that's all
That
you
wasn't
needed.
too much. I wasn't really thinking about all the money. Again, I was just on vibes. You feel me? I probably could have made a better financial choice. You feel me? But that's just, you young. You make your choices.
Say less. All right, go ahead, Well.
I
Appreciate you,
feel
Izzy.
that. I went to the Peeps for the vibes. That recruitment visit sold me. But nah, honestly, um, everything was just happening so quick for me. Like there was a lot of coaches that would come into my house every week. It felt like almost every day. Like,
They was wait, hold on. They was coming to your crib.
yeah.
Oh, you different. You a different bull.
Yeah, they was coming to the house. And we had to switch houses sometime. My dad was like, "Yeah, they gonna go to this crib." But
Oh yeah, hold on. I definitely almost played tight end. I was getting recruited for tight end. I
tight
almost
and
went.
hot.
Only reason why I didn't go because they wasn't giving me no money. They was like, "Yeah, we want you to come play tight end." I'm like, I ain't never played tight end a day in my life, but I know I had hands. So what are we actually talking about? So you feel me? Listen. That was the other choice.
Call them
That was
hot
just
picks. You
jogged my
feel me?
memory.
What are you talking about? King's College?
Yeah. I think it was Kings. Yeah, them. Then Del Valle a little bit. It was a couple others, but that was that was probably what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. We call them hot picks, man. You could have been out there going crazy
Listen,
at
don't
tight
tell
end.
nobody
A
now. I
tight
definitely
end
had
benching
hands.
300 pounds out of high school.
No, my coach ain't want to believe it, but I definitely had hands. We had one day where we was out here in the gym, and I finally got to run routes. I'm out here catching stuff one hand. I'm like, give me that. Give me that. Need that. You feel me? And everybody just like, wow, I didn't even know you could catch. I'm like, I'm just big,
And
bro.
your
I
right hand,
catch.
your right hand was Walt. Y'all should have been working on route running. What are you doing, man?
Well, was a little too different. He didn't cross. He didn't. One time I was at practice, he crossed me up. I was like 50 yards away from him. I was what's going on? I was like, that's a little different. Yeah, man. Nah, that was wild.
But for me, it was definitely recruiting. Everything was just happening so quick. Like, I was getting recruited from like a lot of the Patriot League schools. So the Lehighs, the Colgates, the Lafayettes. You know, Easton is in Lafayette town, so like I was getting heavily recruited by those. But even like the Monmouths, Rhode Island, so a lot of those D1 AA in between D1A, um, and for a lot of those schools, I ain't have the SAT scores, so I was rushing trying to get my SAT scores right so I can get into those schools. But I was 10 points away. They needed 1,000 out of the two part, and I had a 990. So I kept on retaking it, and I retook it like 4 times. And mentally, I was tapped out. So I was like, yeah, probably gonna go D2. So my brother went D2. My brother played for Clarion, and I was like, why not be in the PSAC? PSAC is tough, competitive. People go to the league. So I was visiting PSAC schools, visited Kutztown, Westchester, Bloomsburg, all the above, and like a lot of those visits was terrible. Like, and it wasn't giving no money. Like they was giving money, but they wasn't giving no real money. They wasn't taking care of all of the tuition. They wasn't taking care of all the room and board or books and stuff like that. When I went to IUP, shout out to Coach Sig. That boy, he was throwing around money. He came different. He had the Alabama ring. He had it. He was sitting on a chair like this with the Alabama ring, talking to me and my pop. He was like, "Yeah, he giving money. He's a Bama dude." Um, and it was a legendary coaching staff. As we see, like to this day, that coaching staff that we had at the P, Coach Haynes, who just won awards, like talking to those guys about football, it was a no brainer. Like the development football wise, why I chose IUP. Like those coaches were stellar coaches, master recruiters. And then our visit, seeing the guys that were coming in our class, I think we might have had a conversation. I'm not sure. I don't remember everything from the night. But like the conversation, I was like, they bringing up Ohio guys. All the rest of my visits was people from small town schools in PA that I didn't know of. Kutztown, Westchester, Bloomsburg. I was like, what school you go to? But we had people from Ohio, Virginia, all different types of places. I'm like, yeah, we gonna be if we all go here, we want to make something special. We want to win some games.
Legendary squad for sure, man. Legendary time. I mean, definitely, bro. The coaching staff was stacked there. Definitely made everybody feel crazy, crazy love. Shaw, you want to go or you want me to go?
You can go.
All right, yeah. My joint not as like as structured as Weldon joint, right? Like I was not as far as like D2 sports, bro. I had like no idea what the PSAC was. Shop might have a similar joint. Had no idea what the PSAC was. Had no idea what D2 football was. Never a day in my life did I ever watch a D2 football game. So like I came in this joint like for real blind, right? Like again, my pop played at East Stroudsburg. But like we never talked about that. He transferred like North Carolina A&T. He played there, so like that's more so what he talked about. As far as recruiting, like that was like East Stroudsburg was the only school that I couldn't go to. Like when I got like my like recruiting letters from them, my pop would like rip them joints up because his experience at East Stroudsburg was so bad because it's always like no brainer for me. But for me, like I would say, like my recruiting probably like started like later than like I would have wanted it to start. But I do remember the first coach that I ever spoke to was Coach Rod from IUP, who was my receiver coach my freshman year. He was recruiting me when I was a sophomore at Central, right? Like when they come, they was talking to the juniors and seniors. Rod was there. He was talking to me as a sophomore. It was him, and then Coach Marcel Quarterman from Kutztown. He's the offensive coordinator there. He came to talk to me when I was a sophomore. So I still remember them two guys. And I think recruiting is all about relationships. So like, they was like the two most thorough dudes that I met through the whole recruitment process. We talk about two brothers, both played college football. Rob played quarterback at Pitt. Marcel played college football, I think at like Lafayette or somewhere like that. He also went to Central. So like the relationship, those two was the most loyal people through the whole process. Like I'm talking about from when I was 15, 16 years old all the way through 18. It was them two. I got recruited by like the D1 schools, like, well, of course, like the Patriot League schools, Lafayette, Lehigh. Never will throw a brother offer. They'll come to the school. I'll talk to them. Villanova. My senior year, Villanova coach Ferrante, who wasn't the head coach at the time, they wanted me to come to Villanova while I was at IUP. But that's beside the point. But he was recruiting me. He was their Philly guy. He would come to like my school like at least like once or twice a week for like a good 2-3 months. Just waiting on an offer. Some dude decommitted from West Virginia. They gave them their last skill position offer. Villanova invited me to this is where I met Edo. We got inducted into the college football like Hall of Fame chapter for like scholar athletes. Villanova hosted this joint. The Villanova coach hands me an award. Like I got like this joint. I still got this picture framed or anything. Never got the award. So Villanova where I thought I was going. And then track, the D1 track offers start coming in. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I wanted to play football. So end up IUP and Kutztown and Bloomsburg was like my final three. For Bloomsburg, the coach, I won't say his name on here, but he was just annoying. It was a brother, but he was annoying. Like he was just annoying. Like he would be texting me, calling me, bro, like nonstop. Which again, like I get it. Like all right, you showing that you care. I straight up like I was over him, but like I took the visit just to take the visit because like Bloomsburg was the school that my parents knew about that was like supposed to be good, and then they was throwing me a little bit of bread, but on my recruiting visit, dude was like switching up like on my parents, like he was acting a completely different bull, like he wasn't this bull that be all like just he was just a completely different bull. I ain't really mess with him like that. So again, that relationships with everything. I left Bloomsburg, bro. I went right to IUP. So I left IUP, bro. I left Bloomsburg. Like, yeah, we good. And call IUP up. Like, yo, we coming tonight. So IUP looked out. My man Lamont was also on a visit with me. We stayed with Keno. Shout out to Keno. Met my boy Shab. Well, just great vibes, great people. Went to Benjamin's, like the dinner again. Like they was just showing like
I'm
love.
not gonna lie to you. So can I pause you for a second?
Go ahead, bro.
Right in my head, I was just thinking about Benjamin's. Why was I just thinking about Benjamin?
Yeah, bro.
Like, what, bro? What? No cafeteria food?
Nah, bro. And the crazy thing is about our visit too, bro, is it was during a break, right? Like it was during a break, right? So like we didn't even get the full like IUP experience, bro, of like with students on campus. I'll talk about my next visit after this, but like we got there, bro. And they literally like just rolled out the red carpet for you, like. But like this D2 football, like I'm sure like the D1 people on here probably that are listening to this probably laughing at us for our joint. But like I ain't take all my track visits, bro, I turned down every D1 track visit, bro. Rhode Island, Lafayette, Lehigh. I was like, no, I'm cool because I knew I did not want to run track in college. But I'm looking back, that's part of like the regret is like, damn, I should have taken those visits just to take the visits, right? But like IUP was like, it was good. Like the vibes was just good. Like the coaches showed mad love. And it was just like they showed our parents respect. Like it was just the vibe was different. Like the vibe was
I
different.
did a
there.
visit to Rhode Island and Bryant. Not IUP, bro. Not
Nah,
IUP.
nah. Yeah, man. So just good folk, bro. Like that's just kind of what I felt at IUP, man. Like it was just good people. It was a snow, like it was cold, it was snowing, but like that didn't like stop us. Coach Bernie, shout out to Coach Bernie. He drove me and my parents in a little. He had a like little rental car, like drove us everywhere, and like just set it up. Like he just showed mad love. Like it was just like the care that they came with, and of course Sid came with the ring in the finger. The ring on his finger from Alabama. Like really just like talking game with like with our folks and. Like it was straight up, like, you know what I mean? My mom was straight up with him and like, yo, this is the number that we need. This is what we need. And like IUP looked out. I had Kutztown was my last visit. I had a track meet at Kutztown that day. Coach Marcel, who's one of the coaches that I met when I was 15, he drove to my crib from Kutztown, picked me up from the crib, and drove me to Kutztown for this visit. And we had a track meet there the next day. All the coaches came to my track meet. Like Kutztown, if Kutztown wasn't broke and Kutztown didn't have a head coach, this might be a different conversation. Because like Kutztown honestly was probably my best visit overall. But again, life happens for a reason, man. Everything happens for a reason. And I definitely made the right decision. But more than anything, it was a relationship. Coach Rod, Coach Sid. Coach Sid came to Central, sat down. Coach, the offensive coordinator, came to Central. Coach Chapin came to Central. Like they all came to Central. Coach Rod came to Central multiple times. Like kept coming. And it's just like that type of care. Again, it's the ego. Like again, I'm playing D2 football. I never dreamed of playing D2 football. I ain't ever watched a D2 football game again. But like for some reason, some way, like God aligned us all to go to that institution. And I think it happened, for a reason. And met my brothers for life, and I'm thankful. And probably, honestly, to this day, probably one of the best decisions of my life.
Yeah, rest in
And
peace,
I'm
Coach
definitely always
Bernie,
look back on
man.
that for sure, man. Brother Shaw from Dayton, Ohio
Oh, wait.
to Indiana, PA. How did that happen?
Hey man, say man, you see this shirt, man, Undisputed Chance, man. OHIO, shout out to Will, I appreciate that, man. All right, so I actually really, really appreciate you, brother, stories, because my story, y'all reminded me of so many different. So for the record, yeah, Well and Walt, Walt, you really got it. Well, you got it too. Y'all had people coming to the crib.
I ain't come to the
Y'all
crib.
had people
They
coming
came to the school.
crib.
They came to Central. They came to Central
Bro,
multiple
you
times.
had people coming
The crib
to
is
the
crazy.
crib, bro.
Yeah, we had to, yeah, bro.
That's next level. That's next level. But you feel me? With y'all saying that, y'all reminded me back to, bro. Y'all remember being in class, that phone call ring, they call your name, it's that
Yup.
season. Bro, what one of the greatest feelings ever. So for me personally, yeah, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. So it was Coach Haynes. QB Haynes. What's
Tyler, yup.
Tyler. Shout out to Coach Tyler Haynes for sure. Bro, the way he came, bro, was so different, bro. Every other coach, they got brochures, they got little letters and stuff, you feel me? They got maybe a little pin or bracelet joint, Bro, it was me, Tristan, and Trey. All three of us. I think Tristan, I think I was the last one. No, I was the second one to get down there. So he waited till we all three got in there, introduced himself, talking to all three of us at the same time. Bro, I swear to God, bro, I can't make this up. His whole entire pitch was less than 2 minutes. I swear to God. I swear to God. His whole spiel, everything he had to say, bro, was less than 2 minutes long, bro. That's how he came. He said, you guys are champions. You guys are good. I can tell you got the work ethic. The coaches talk about this. Here's what I see. Here's what I want. You guys can deliver. What do you say? Like right then and there. Like come on, we want you all on a visit. Like he just came different. Actually, I take that back. It wasn't Trey. Trey wasn't in the room. It was just me and Tristan. They already had enough running backs. They already had Izzy, the other Izzy, you feel me, from Trotwood. Yeah, I mean, but so he was a Piqua guy, for the record. Let me get to the story. So Coach Haynes is actually from Piqua. Piqua is literally about 20 minutes away, maybe 30 minutes away from Heber Heights. It's a suburb of
Okay.
Dayton. And so the Haynes brothers are actually from the Piqua area. So that was their tie to the greater Dayton area. And they know there's some hoopers in Dayton, you feel me? So Coach Seg, smart as he is, said, you go back to your hometown area, you feel me, and find me some dogs. And that's what he did. The thing that really made me go to IUP, though, is just like all y'all. It was a visit. Izzy, you're right. It was the vibes, bro. I don't have to give stories, Izzy. I don't, but this is fun, and I want to reminisce and tell this story. But Izzy, it was really the vibes, bro. Like, for real, bro, I never had NFL dreams. I never had NFL dreams until my junior year in college, bro. Never have I ever considered going. Never was a dream. Never was it a goal. It was never on a bucket list. It just wasn't me. You feel me? So I was just going for the experience. Just like y'all, bro. Like,
Hey, Shaba, can I ask a question, bro?
go ahead.
Run me through your day of your visit, bro.
Visit. So first of all, let's talk about how we get there. So we're coming from Ohio, so we're coming from the western part. Y'all came from the east, literally. You feel me? So I got a different. Y'all don't understand. I was happy a whole hour on the way to IUP. Why, bro? I'm just chilling. I'm like, oh, snaps a tunnel. This turn, okay. Tunnel, okay. I come out, Pittsburgh, bow. I'm like, oh, snap. It's nice out here. They got the rivers and the bridge. You go stadium. Oh, they're going stadium. Oh, snap. It's lit out here. You feel me? I'm like, oh, we in the mountains and stuff, bro. So this is my paradigm. You feel me? So like, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm already cheesing from ear to ear because I'm like, bro,
Y'all got
I'm
no
really.
mountains in it. Y'all got no mountains in Dayton.
Out there, bro. You never got no buildings. What are you talking about? That's crazy. My fault. Y'all got buildings. Maybe like Cincinnati. But like I done been to Ohio, bro. But Ohio's flat. That is a flat place. That is crazy. You're crazy. I see why when he came to Pittsburgh it was turned up. You came from Ohio. You know how flat Ohio is?
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous, bro. I was like, this is the first time you see it about, yeah.
That's
Feel me?
crazy.
So,
He lives
so
in the mountains.
I was happy just on my way there. So boom, we get there. It's a full schedule. It's a full day. They got, and I like how they set it up. They're so smart. So for the record, not gonna hold you. Now that you say that, well, you said that D1 guys might be laughing at us. 1,000%. Some of them, maybe even a lot of them, definitely are. However, there's a lot of them. No, we had a very similar experience that they did, or maybe
yeah,
even
yeah.
better. 1,000%. You feel me? I'm not even gonna waste time talking about them other offers. I mean, them other visits. You feel me? They was Urban, bro. I don't care. Urbana, yo, y'all tripping. How
I
dare
remember
you try to have me run on a gym floor and do some different stuff like that to
Yeah,
work
that
me
jump
out to
was
see
wicked.
on a gym floor?
That
Because
jump was
it's, you
wicked.
feel me, the winter time and we can't be outside on the field and you ain't got no indoor facility because you broke. You feel me? You couldn't even, bro, y'all can't even invest in a couple bands, bro. Just get a rollout turf joint and put that inside the gym. Y'all bugging.
Y'all better not make me work out during my visit, bro.
You
They
feel
started
me?
that. They started that after we was gone, though,
During my
bro.
visit.
They did start that joint after we was gone. I had some. I hosted some recruits that had to work out, which is wicked. That's wicked.
What?
Yeah.
Ain't no way. So I say that to say IUP
It might have.
did
Never mind. I'm not even gonna talk to you. It might have been because of our visit.
possibly. I don't know. But I didn't have to work out one. So we started off a good joint. So their structure was very beautiful at IUP. They got all the formalities out the way. When I say formalities, I mean they showed you you know what I'm saying, like the dorm. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna say that to last. Hold on, wasn't it 2 days? Hold on.
Yeah, I only did the one joint. Remember, because I told you I came from Bloomsburg. But yeah. It was a 3 day. You could have stayed 3 days because remember they had the basketball game. I don't know if y'all went to the basketball game the last night.
Hold on, no. Well, you gonna have to help me out, bro. I think we may have came in the first day and we was allowed to like just chill for real, for real. I think they gave us to the players the first day.
No, that was the second day.
The second day?
It had to be 3 days, bro.
They had a 3-day John.
It was 3 days.
They had a 3-day
It was during break.
But bro, all I remember is it was one of the days, bro, we had to get up mad early, and the night before, that's when we was lit partying.
But what
The night before. Yeah, the bad early day was the morning that you had the meetings with the coaches. The night before was like you said, the night before we went to whoever crib, was it Moab crib or something like that?
Crib was down at
I think we did the 3-day John then. I think me and Tristan did the 3-day John because I know for a fact,
you came
bro,
second day or first day?
I came the second day.
Yeah, so the second day is where Walt was with us.
Yeah, second day we had dinner, and then we went out. We went to because I stayed with Keno the second day, and then I left the third day.
Was the third day that's when they had the basketball game against Cal U?
Yeah, yup.
And that's the day we didn't stay. Yeah, because we really wanted to watch the game, but we was already there for a day or two. So I think that was day 3. So yeah, I think we stayed 2 nights. So me personally, my first night, my first day, I don't think I really like did too much, bro. I think they just like showed me around a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then I think I went to go with the players, bro. And I was lit. We was lit, had a good time, party and whatnot. And then we had to get back up the next day and go to we toured the whole entire campus with our parents. But when that day was early, and I remember because my mom was laughing at us and she was like in disbelief, like she kind of shocked, like, oh my God. But she was already used to it, kind of. But she like, these motherfuckers is messed up. Like like, bro, we was sleeping in all the meetings, bro. Like
I think that might have been the third day, bro.
Walt
that was the second day. That was the second day because we did the tour with the families on the second day. The campus tour, when you had your coach, they take you to your wherever your major classes was and all of that. That was day 2. That's the day I got there. That's the day I got there. Yeah.
Like went through the classes, the tours of the cafeterias, the buildings. You feel me? Like,
so you met different professors. Back days, huh?
Bro, I was there for 3 days. Like, bro, like
you was touring back to back days. Cause I remember, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, and it's just my perception. Shaba had he got game recruiting visit.
1,000%.
I was like, damn.
1,000%. 1,000%. Now, for the record, on the record, I did not score. You know, if you know what I mean. However, it was definitely he got game. For sure, it was definitely he got game. But yeah, I can go on and on about the greatness of my visit, man, at IUP, and that was a huge reason why. It was the visit. It was the Coach Haynes, how he came. He literally said, and I quote, because, bro, here's the crazy part. Another dude literally just got done talking to us 3. You feel me? Just got done talking to us, like another college, you know what I'm saying? And we all had the brochures in front of us and whatnot. Bro, I can't make this up, bro. He literally grabbed one of the brochures, bro. He was like, "Yeah, bro, we don't have that shit. We don't have that shit. You feel me? I don't need that." And like, I'm like, bro, I like him.
No, that's a great dog. That's a masterful observation. Now that I think about it, bro, I've gotten so many pieces of mail from recruiting spots. I don't think I ever got a single joint from IUP, bro.
I didn't either.
We just cracked something.
Crazy.
We just cracked something. We just cracked the code, bro. Rolls-Royce does not have one single commercial on the market. Rolls-Royce does not have one single commercial. That's I like. Hey, you just split an atom right there, brother. But yeah, well, that was my day. That was my day in recruiting, man. That was my weekend. It wasn't even it was a day. You feel me? Like the first day was lit. That's all I know, bro. We got lit at nighttime. We was able to chill. It was in the hotel. You feel me? We was chilling, bro. Like that joint was lit, bro. And then the second day, that was the heavy. You feel me? Everything, And then the third day, just to speak on, you feel me? The numbers and the logistics of it all.
Yep.
Third day, me personally, my mom didn't go to college. Dropped out high school, sophomore, I think. Literally, I'm one of those stories out of my great grandma who got literally over like 150 people part of her tree just from her, bro. I'm one of 2 people that ever went to college, bro. You feel me? Especially for a sport. My other cousin Biff, he went to Cincinnati. But so my parents ain't know nothing about this. You feel me? We talking about going in blind walk. bro, we went in blind, you feel me? Like my mom don't even know like what's good numbers, da 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 da. And the thing that stuck out for me, and the reason why like I even more so went to IUP was because Coach Sig, he told me, you feel me, and I quote, he said, we got this linebacker, we got this linebacker, went through their stats. He was like, I think you can be better than both of them. I'm like, oh, snaps, okay. But I ain't gonna hold you. As a youngin, you feel me? That's where he messed up. Respectfully, Coach said, don't ever do that again to no player. You feel me? Make sure you keep it humble. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell them how good they are. You know what I'm saying? Especially where you at right now, bro. You ain't got to do that, bro. Don't do that. Because once he told me that, that's when he told me my value. I knew my value was. You feel me? Well, I'm like, okay. Thank you for letting me know my number. However, he was like, "You gonna get the Pell Grant," and they didn't know what that was. He was like, "You gonna get the Pell Grant." Da da da. So long story short, I put the numbers out there. He offered me 5 bands, I believe. That was the first offer. You feel me? Keep in mind, I'm out of state, so my in-state tuition is not 10,000 at the time. It was 15,000. So plus room and board and all that. So it costs like 10. I think it costs like 10. Yeah, for y'all to go. It costs 15 for me to go. No, 20 for me to go. So boom. Long story short, shout out to my grandfather. My grandfather is the reason why. And rest his soul, may Allah be pleased. My grandfather's the reason why I got an IUP, hands down. He was the one who did whatever type of talking he need to do to Coach Sig. You feel me? To tell Coach Sig, you feel me? Stop playing in my face, bro. We not about to do that. You feel me? So shout out to my grandfather and shout out to Tristan. You gotta give big high honors to Tristan because the way we played that was beautiful. I ain't gonna hold you. Um, if I was Tristan, I wouldn't have did that. But yeah, Tristan was like, nah, bro, we a package deal, bro. I ain't coming if bro ain't coming. And that was another reason why kind of forced Sig's hand to go ahead and pay me what I was worth. So those was that's the story behind the numbers. And so ended up going from 5 to 15. You feel me? Like, I needs that. But yeah, shout out to my grandfather and shout out to Tristan. Tristan playing hardball because we used to literally every time he called him, I'm right there on speaker. He called me, he right there on speaker. You feel me? Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. I gotta give me and Tristan a lot of credit, bro, because we both coming from not single mother. Yeah, because my mom was with my stepfather at the time. However, he didn't know nothing about sports. He an old Army vet, you know what I'm saying? Da da da. But we coming from situations where we have no guidance, bro, and like we literally like had to just rely on ourselves and rely on each other. You feel me? To not get finessing, do a little finessing, bro, and use our resources like the little resource that we did have. And yeah, we got a real good deal. So the numbers, the vibes, the visit, it was just magical, bro. It was just, I feel like Allah just blessed me for all my good deeds, man. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. It's a beautiful story, man. Like,
Yeah, man. The community piece too, bro. I think that's what it goes down to. You know what I mean? Your family, Tristan, everybody that was there, Coach Haynes, right? Like building that community, I think was for me a big piece of why I ended up going to IUP. Just felt like it was the most at home spot. Izzy, I'm gonna kick it off with you on this one, man. As far as IUP, in terms of how it shaped the person that you became. So people you met, classes you took, the experiences you had, clubs you were a part of, bro. How would you say that IUP overall, shaped the Izzy that we are talking to today?
Like IUP was it was an interesting experience. I've always been like curious about knowledge and doing different things. And IUP was the first time I was, I just got to be by myself. I could do what I want, wake up when I want. So first getting in there, I had to figure out what college was. And I started kind of realizing, I'm like, oh, a little small bubble with people the same age as me. We can do what we want, basically. Let's figure out what we can do. So I started like joining stuff from the rip. Communication media, great program they had there. Very hands-on. I like hands-on things, like cameras. My previous experience, I had like a WHYY program. That's what really got me in cameras, like in middle school. So then I was like, IUP got communication and they got a TV joint. All right. So we get the IUP. I joined the Big Hit, which was our sports talk TV. You can watch it on YouTube right now. It's still up there. We talk good sports on there. IRB, which was Indie Rockers Ball, had to do my little music pop show, and then we had Press Start. That was my third TV show. and that was when we talk about like sports. I mean, not sports. Talk about gaming, and then once all that was like done, so that was like regular. You know, we had like a show. We recorded a show a week. That was pretty cool. And then we started doing like that was all freshman year. I started all that freshman year. Then sophomore year, I got involved like with I guess well freshman year I was doing mainly big hits. Second year I think I joined like RB and the other one. But second year I started thinking about cameras I want to say and being a peer advisor. So I didn't really know much about IUP, but just becoming a peer advisor was probably like the most transformational experience there for me. Um, One, it was just being a peer advisor is just like one of the most goated jobs you could ever have. You just basically start introducing all the new young people to college and tell them how it is, and it was just like it was fun. And then you like meet like so many people. Like I knew by the time I was a senior, I knew a good portion of the school, I would say, which is crazy. Like people knew who I was just because I was your peer advisor, you feel me? And I brought you in, or stuff like that. So that was cool. Then I met a couple of my future brothers in my frat, you feel me? So like a lot of that stuff came from peer advising, and then the camera stuff that started like well, it started at WHYY, but I took a photography class and bought my first camera. That was like sophomore year. So once I started doing that, then it really started getting in motion. I started taking concert photos. I started doing sports photography. That's when I started taking pictures of y'all. And then that's when the access just started getting free. You feel me? I was freshman year I was working. I was working at the arena doing security, and then I eventually was just doing photography at the arena. Then I did operations, like setting up for the stadiums and all that. I'm not gonna lie, like I thoroughly like went through everything I could possibly do at IUP except for play football. I did
That boy
try
was in the
out, but I
bag.
played myself. Like I realized I thoroughly immersed myself. You feel me? I was definitely thoroughly immersed. So that was a good time, you know.
Can I
Nah,
please just highlight that though, bro? Like you oh my God, that was yeah. Well, like that was like
feel like
bro,
we on the drink champs.
man, for real, man. And see, like that take right there, that's what Athlete Alchemy, I believe, is about. It's literally just about having that mindset of winning the day in order to win in life. You feel me? Because, bro, what? I just gotta highlight that, bro. Like how you really immerse yourself, bro. Like that's some of the best advice that I really hope you give people, bro. You give young people who seek to go into college, bro, because it's gonna hit different because it's coming from you, because you experienced it and you did it. You walked that walk. So it's not just talk when you say it. You feel me? I can't say that. You feel me? I skipped so many darn classes. I remember when I finally got I'm like, oh my God, I've been wasting a lot of time. I ain't joining no clubs. Oh my God, I'm only talking about
Hey,
experience. Hey, bro, I ain't. So like, but I did that. I think that was my junior year. I think when I like actually like signed up for a club. Always thought it like, yeah, I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna join. Never did until like my junior year. You feel me? So I can't really like speak about joining I can, and I'm like, I think that's something I should have done, but you actually done that. So I just simply want to highlight that, bro, and just commend that, bro, and just say like, make sure you please like share that part of your story, bro, how you immerse yourself, bro, and how that really did add to a lot of good principles and character that you got today.
nah, man, I definitely to your point, Sha. I'm gonna just piggyback off of that. Like two sides of the coin, right? Like being a student athlete, being a student, and sometimes as a student athlete, sometimes you may feel as though like you don't have the time, you don't have the access. But my man Hawk, bro, I always respect, bro, the grind, dog. Like you always had a job or two in college, bro. On top of classes that you had, on top of the clubs you was in, on top of building Is You Down, right? Like the work that you was putting in, bro, like did not go unnoticed, right? So I hope you felt appreciated, bro. Like you was doing the pictures, bro, taking the pictures, bro, making everybody. I didn't have Instagram at the time, bro. Boy, I would have been running it up if I did, bro. But everybody else, bro, like you was really, bro, like people was having better Saturday nights because of the work that you was putting in, bro. Right? You know what I mean? Like you was really like doing that, bro, out of the kindness of your heart, bro, but just being a thorough boy that you are. And like I greatly appreciate you, man. Like I already know, like I can't get into it a little bit, but like a part of like IUP that shaped me, bro, was you, your brotherhood, bro. Like being a part of 94. I saw this all the time. I was blessed to have like my best friends from high school, Nell and Izzy, go to IUP, bro. Like my IUP experience, bro, would not have been the same without y'all, like at all.
Yeah.
Like I needed that, bro. Right? I love Will, I love Shab, I love the football team, I love my brothers on the team, and they probably can feel the same way, right? Like being with y'all, like got us away from having to like just be in that football mindset 24/7, right? Like
bro,
being a normal person, bro. Like being able to
bro,
come to the crib, bro, and just
WWE
chill,
night,
bro.
almost getting
bro.
kicked
Yeah,
out the
dog.
dorm.
Like so that
Wow.
that
Crazy.
joint made my
Wow.
experience, bro. It helped me become a more well-rounded person, bro. So
Wow.
I greatly appreciate you, Izzy,
Can
for
I say
that,
something
man.
too, bro? Freshman year, like, there's a
That
lot
was
of
a
weird
while. That
stuff
was a
going
rough
on.
year for y'all. That was a rough
The
year for
hut.
y'all.
There's a
That was a
lot of
rough
weird
year
stuff
for y'all.
going on. I know Walt and Shaba, we had our meetings as a freshman class. We was like, a lot of weird stuff going on. Nonetheless, like when I met Walt and his like Central crew, I was over their house or one of their houses every day.
Yeah.
Literally, it was like, yeah, I might as well go there every day because I just felt normal. Where IUP at certain times didn't feel normal. It felt like and then like it just felt different from just an average life. So that community that you had from back home made me feel at home. You feel me? Which was dope, bro. Real rap.
Yeah, man.
Now,
Shout out to the hut. Shout out to Rhea and
in the
Izzy,
hut,
dog.
in the hut.
Yeah,
The
man.
We
hut,
was
Shout
at
out
the
to
the
the
hut
hut
hut.
is
every
a
day.
crazy
Every day
time.
I was at the hut. I
Yeah,
had
The
to.
bro.
hut's a
I
crazy
was at
time.
Shaba's house, Shaba's apartment, because Shaba had the cleanest apartment out of anybody I know. That joint was
Real quick segue. Real quick segue, bro. That's another reason why I went to IUP, bro. The dorms. The dorms was for sure. If when I go on my list, I like the dorms itself is a whole entity of reason why I chose IUP. Hands down, IUP had the
Stevenson,
best dorms.
legendary.
One of the
legendary.
And I didn't even
bro.
live there. I
And
never even lived there.
did y'all know that IUP literally had, so in front of Stevenson, it was that plaque. I'm not sure if y'all remember or not. It was that big grand plaque right in front of that little circle rotunda, at like on the street in front of Stevenson, like at the street where the cars go. It literally said, bro, it was like I think $475 million renovation or something like
That's
that, bro.
crazy.
Like one of the largest renovations at the time in the country, bro, to any college, bro,
That's
no
crazy.
matter what division.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like we really had like that was one of the reasons why I chose IUP for
Yeah.
sure. The I didn't really experience the hut though.
Yeah,
Oh
y'all
yeah.
had y'all own hut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the luxuries as y'all. I had to stay in that terrible honors dorm, but
I
for my
used to
boys and stuff.
feel
I felt
so
bad
bad for
going
Walt,
there.
bro.
What?
They did
You
not
know,
treat y'all with honor. That was
dirties.
terrible.
They had us living
Terrible.
Yo,
at
Izzy, say it again.
Hogwarts.
Izzy, say it again, bro.
They didn't treat them with honor. That was disgusting.
You couldn't. I felt
Like, how y'all
bad.
supposed to be?
I'm like, this
How
is
y'all supposed to be in an honor college and they give y'all no? Y'all ain't even got windows. Y'all like at the school I work at. It was crazy.
yeah. They should have put y'all on Stevenson.
Man,
Boy,
bro.
Y'all should have been in the Hilton. Like,
Exactly, dog. I used to try to sleep everywhere but the crib, man.
They had to.
It was crazy.
They had to make them live with humbleness. You feel me?
I guess
but
so.
Make
for
sure.
the audience who've never been to IUP, you feel me? Y'all got to realize that part of the reason why we feel so bad is because all the other dorms were like in like kind of next to each other, and then the honors college dorms were literally clear on the
15
opposite
minute
side of
15-minute walk
campus.
away.
Like
Well,
literally,
10
so
minutes from
like
like Walworth.
he would always have to, take that walk. We all got like a short little, you know what I'm saying? We can go in the same direction, quick little 5, 2, like literally 3 minute walk. He going the opposite direction by himself. Like nobody's like,
Yo.
Going to that top floor, going over the little joint to get to the other wing. What?
and he used to have to go up a hill.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I remember, bro, during training camp. So, like, I was the only football player there during training camp, bro. Like, I was the only person in the dorm, right? So, I remember it was like second or third day of camp. I don't know the campus. And I'm walking to practice, bro. I'm late. Like, I'm late to the meeting. So, I had to do, like, the little flips, 100 200 yards, 100 yards up and back because I was late. Because I got lost, bro. Crazy, dog.
Oh,
Second or third day of camp.
Probably one of the only times in the history of IUP football Walt was disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
we want to talk about times.
I used to fall asleep in class a lot. Fall asleep in meetings a lot, so I used to have to stand up or do push-ups, but...
Yeah. Hey, me and Shaba was just talking about the time that we was late to practice, and we was running, trying to get Chick-fil-A. The meal swipes, man. ran from the hub all the way back to try to make it to a meeting. Shaba and Tristan jumped.
It was little chain link.
The chain link. I'm thinking I'm a big guy. I'm athletic. Try to hop the chain link. Oh, in my whole IUP shorts mudded. Like trying to make it to those meetings, bro. Nah, but
all his food literally fell. Like I remember, I caught, I don't know, something just told me to look back because we literally running. Like it's literally the meeting time starts at, let's say,
did
6
y'all make
o'clock.
it? I think y'all made it.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't make it walking at this point.
No, you did make it. You did make it. No, yeah, I think you still made it. So, long story short, I remember. So, bro, you may not know this, but this is when me and your friendship took another bonding level. Okay, bro, because you feel me? I was aware enough to know I cannot laugh. This is not a laughing manner.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me? So I consciously remember, bro, I refused. I made sure, bro, I didn't chuckle. I didn't laugh, no nothing. You feel me? Tristan wasn't as aware. Ain't gonna hold you. He kind of laughed. I'm gonna allow him to tell his side of the story, but I'm pretty positive he kept going towards the meeting.
He was out.
I'm pretty sure he kept running. You feel me? So
you probably had a striker too.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. It's we have to be there at 6 o'clock. At this point, it's literally 5:57. You feel me? We gonna make it if this doesn't happen. We're for sure gonna make it because we got the little jog in. Boom. I literally turn around and I literally seen it, bro. It was literally this much of his toe hit the chain, hit the link, hit the chain. That's it.
I cleared it.
That's it. He literally cleared it. It was literally this much of his toe, his foot versus being flat. It was like that. That's literally it. I gotta qualify that. So that little I look back, I'm like, I see him going down, bro. Another reason why I couldn't laugh, y'all, because I saw it like a movie, like slow motion. I would turn around, bro. Boom, he going down, y'all. There's no way he would have saved himself. There's no way he could have caught himself. Why? He has food in both his hands as he's running. So it's like you either gonna give up the food or you gonna give up your body. You feel me? That's you gotta make that decision mid-air. My man was smart. He was like, the food not worth it. The food not worth it. You feel me? He gave up the food to protect his body. But keep in mind, he has stuff in his hands, bro. So you literally going to the ground like this. You feel me? So he got rid of the food, but bro, he didn't have enough time to have the most cleanest fall. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was a legit 7.9, hard fall.
Yeah.
Awkward, hard. You feel me? Wasn't clean,
bro. I had hops, bro. I was grabbing 10-2 rim off the vert like this. You feel me? I had hops. I don't know what happened that day, bro. Bro.
What happened was you weren't used to doing that. That's because it's clear. You feel me? Respectfully, bro. You gotta subconsciously know to have your feet flat whenever to really clear it. You feel me? That's a possibility. You feel me? But if you do it again, you learned your lesson. You feel me? You gonna make sure your feet flat.
My feet up. The knees is up, bro.
Literally. But yeah, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. That's how I knew, bro. That's our bonding of our friendship went on another level, bro. Because I literally made sure I checked on you, bro. You was cool, and you was mad, but I'm like, bro, you cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we still made it on time. You know
I was just mudded up, man. But yeah, that freshman year. But those bonding moments, man, of real genuine friendships, of real genuine people, because. Yeah, you don't see that everywhere, especially from different places. Not going back to high school.
That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy talking about Tristan. Well, I was just thinking about it because y'all been mentioning Tristan. I'm just like, bro, I wonder what happened, bro. Because Tristan talked to me one time. This was so off track. He talked to me one time about Bitcoin. Like, literally, I never sat down with him. He knew about it. He talked to me about it for like 20 seconds. If I really had sat down with him, oh my God. We know we had refunds at that time. You know I would have spent something frivolously when I wouldn't have cared. I would not have cared if I really got an understanding
You know,
of
I
it.
want to talk about our
So
Bitcoin
crazy.
stories. That upsets me
That's
every
crazy.
day.
Every day when Tristan tells us, I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, I really.
Yeah, me and my brother planned on spending all of our refund check on Bitcoin back in the G. I would not.
That joint was like 200 when we was in college.
Bro, we're not going to talk about it right now. It's going to make me upset.
Yeah.
But yeah, those genuine, those hut memories, man. The arguments, the Madden.
We was just taking the game, taking the CD out was crazy.
Bro,
taking
we
the
lose,
CD out was
nobody's
crazy.
playing no more.
Yeah, it's time to go. Time to go.
Yeah, everybody
Time to
gotta
go.
leave.
Awkward silence for the rest of the night, unless Izzy turn his game on. But awkward
I
silence.
feel me. That's why I had to get my Xbox, man. I'm like, he can't just be shutting it off. I had to use my refund. He can't be shutting the vibes off.
Nah, it used to be crazy. That used to be crazy. I didn't
That
think
was-
about that though. That 6 and 5 season, for the record, like we was tough for 3 out of our 4 years that we were there, that we played. But that 6 and 5 freshman year, my rule was I'd never go out after we lose. So we lost half the games that we won. So so we used to just go to the hut every night.
I did
My
not
boys was with
partake in
me.
that rule.
My boys was with me.
But I will
Yeah, my boys
at the
was with
hut.
me, dog.
I will always get up at the hut somehow, some way. I'll make my way there, but
Yeah, I didn't really start going out till like second semester. Like all first semester, I was just in the hut like every day. I didn't go out till like second semester, and then like that's temp. That's funny.
yeah.
The first time I really went out was with temp. That's a funny story too. But it's another day. But yeah, that first semester was like real life. It was just depressing. Y'all take an L. Oh my God, y'all wouldn't come outside. Y'all wouldn't talk. I was like, y'all really out here dying. I'm like, y'all get cooked this year. It was crazy.
I ain't gonna hold you, Izzy.
Me and Shaba in Amsterdam.
Bro, what? Amsterdam.
So y'all was out here getting, but y'all ain't even
Bro,
care. Y'all was out here
I
tweaking.
was Them niggas was
I forgot
trash,
you
not
was around
me.
there.
That's what I'm saying. Them niggas was trash, not I. Not I.
Nah, that's crazy,
bro.
That's
I want on
crazy.
that video, bro.
That's crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was to a point, and this is some advice for the young boys, bro. That alcohol stuff is not good for your body, bro.
No, that's
It's
a
going
fact.
to come out. It's going to come out
That's a fact.
somehow, some way during the period of your college experience where you're going to be hurt.
And just to speak on that real quick, for the record, so I was saying that. However, getting serious though, if I would have been not drinking Amsterdam and drinking water and still working out and getting after it like I knew how to from the great program of Wayne, which at the time was hands down a way better program than the damn Easton, the hell. But anyways, yeah, our program was literally strength and conditioning was literally based off of Ohio State's strength and conditioning program. But anyways, if I would have did that, I'd probably be in the league for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I was drinking Amsterdam because I was redshirted. I wasn't on the team. What the
There
hell?
was a certain
On a scholarship.
There was a certain point, and it was not good for us. And probably we could have won a natty if everybody just was disciplined during that freshman year. I know from me myself, like I had freak injuries. So like, how did that happen? And it was probably because of the Amsterdam. It was routine. After every game, I was getting a bottle of Amsterdam to myself freshman year. Alba was with me.
$15. I got it.
Yeah,
I got one. You got one. We turned and we underage, so we're really doing something. Whoa, we got a bottle. You feel me?
yeah,
Like
bottle every weekend. One bottle every weekend.
to ourselves. Yeah, we was tripping, bro.
Tripping. And it's Amsterdam. Who
Who's
drink
tripping?
Amsterdam? Like, come on, bro.
Nah, that's another gem right there though. Is like I don't think freshman year we was not winning a national championship. I think there was no way to spin that. But the other years, maybe.
Man, I got so.
No. But I'm saying so. Like, I feel like we can go there next. I think Shab and y'all can reflect on a little bit more about kind of IUP, and we can go maybe to BKR, and then maybe table it for another conversation for some other one, because we're gonna be putting in some hours here.